Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you've been wanting to grow spring flowers and you live in an apartment or you only have a patio and you don't have a proper garden space, this is a perfect video for you because you can totally grow beautiful bulbs inside containers. Today's episode is going to be about a bulb lasagna, which is really just layering different types of bulbs on top of each other inside the same container, and you have several months of beautiful flowers inside that one container. So let's get to it. All you're going to need is a container, your bulbs, and you're going to need some free draining compost. Other things that are helpful to have are perlite, which will help with obviously drainage, and a top dressing that's optional, and also some fertilizer. That's also optional, but I would definitely recommend you add some sort of granular fertilizer. So with your supplies in hand, let's get to it. So I have here with me 3 different bulbs. These are going to be my layers that I'm going to be putting. The bottom layer right here is going to be a tulip. These are tulips. Above that are going to be narcissus or daffodils. And the very top is going to be Muscari. So let me just talk briefly about this. This is a tulip flaming purissima. It's an emperor tulip and it's supposed to come up around mid-April. It'll probably come up earlier because it's so warm here all the time. Because I'm in the south, I did pre-chill these. So these were in the refrigerator for about 2 months. I'm not sure if you can buy these pre-chilled, maybe you can out there. But if you live in zone 7B and up, you're definitely going to want to pre-chill them because tulips are kind of picky like that. Here on the second row, I have Narcissus tête-à-tête. I chose this version because it produces kind of more miniature size flowers, and I thought it'd be really nice in a container just full of beautiful small daffodils. And I never have issues with these in terms of pre-chilling because you just don't really need to. And the top level, I have Muscari. Now, other things that you can put at the top level, you can use crocuses. Those are really good, but I do like the blue color of Muscari, and I think they're absolutely beautiful, but they are quite small, so you have to have a lot of them. So a lot of people don't actually know that you can grow all these bulbs inside containers. Right here, I have a container full of daffodils, and you can see that they'll come up just like any other plant because most of the energy is stored inside the bulb itself. So you can really pack them in there. You can really kind of abuse the rules of gardening when you're doing this process because most of the energy is stored inside here. This actually has been inside for most of the time and it's still doing pretty well. People grow amaryllis inside of a pot, or paper whites are really popular right now. There's a lot of different options, but they all can be pretty much grown inside pots. If you want to start easy, I definitely recommend you stock up on daffodils because they are really easy, especially for southern growers who have difficult times with bulbs already. Tulips are just on a different planet, and I really treat them as annuals, and they do need that pre-chilled period. So with all that information in mind, I'm going to move to the big table, and I have my pot and I have my soil, so I'm going to kind of show you how I'm going to layer them all together. Okay, I'm in the planting area, and this container is actually way bigger than what I remember, so we're going to need a lot of soil to fill it up. Normally I go with clay pots or ceramic pots because they're a little more environmentally friendly, but I had to go with plastic this time because I wanted the pot to be a little lighter. I know it was going to be full of soil, and I know it was going to be really heavy, so I didn't want to add even more with a clay pot. Now, I also put a lot of holes on the bottom for drainage. You can also pack the bottom with some gravel or pieces of styrofoam if you're into that. Right now, I'm actually just going to put actual compost straight into it. But yeah, I really want there to be a lot of space for the tulips to develop a good root system. I got the tulips, I believe, from a company called Van Engelen, and that was online. I think I also got the tête-à-têtes online as well. I ran out, so I had to go buy some at Shoal Creek Nursery in Austin. And then I got the Muscari also from Shoal Creek in Austin. So yeah, I think we're ready to go. I mixed a ton of soil here, added some perlite, and I think it's ready to go. Pretty rich stuff, but also hopefully has enough drainage as well. Now, you certainly don't have to do a gigantic pot like this, but I do want to keep monitoring this over the next several months and have a lot to show you. So I did choose quite a large container, but you can totally do this in a small container. You just want to make sure that there's enough depth for the lowest, essentially the lowest level of your bulb lasagna. So let's start getting some compost in here, and we'll take it to the tulip level. Okay, I think I am ready for my tulips. It might seem a little low, but keep in mind there's going to be tulips, daffodils, muscari, and then I'm also going to have a top dressing of some pea gravel. And then I also want to make sure that there's a little bit of room for water, so when I water it, it doesn't all fall out. So in this scenario, all rules for planting bulbs is totally out the window. You're going to be wanting to plant these very close together, not touching, but very close. Here I have the tulip that I'm going to be growing, the flaming purissima. You can tell that this is the bottom right here. It's kind of shaped in the same way as an onion. And then there's going to be a tip right here. You're going to be wanting to orient them this way. If you're confused, you can kind of put them on the side and they'll figure it out. But this is probably the best way to put them. At this stage, I'm going to add a little fertilizer. I'm using Espoma plant tone. And I'll also add a link to the product as well. Okay, now that that level is done, I'm going to cover it up. Okay, I think this is a perfect stage for my daffodils, so I'm going to start laying them out just like the tulips. Very, very close, just not touching. Remember to also add some fertilizer. So now that that's done, I'm going to cover the daffodils up, and then I'm going to move on finally to the muscari. With this last level, I only need basically 2 inches, so I think this is good. Like I mentioned, it's going to be muscari on top, so let me just start that process. Again, more fertilizer. Get the rest of the compost on them, and then we will put the pea pebbles. All right, so that's the end of today's video. It's all ready to go here. I'm going to give it a good watering outside, and it will remain outside for the rest of the season. I will be giving periodic updates on it, and hopefully it's going to be a wonderful display. Obviously it's packed in, so it better be a good display. But yeah, for now, I guess Luna is going to investigate. Have a good day, and I will see you in the next video.